All right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks to all of our partners, all of our guests who joined. I think in the next coming minutes, some more people will join us, but let's already start with the webinar. So first of all, again, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a while that we saw you, so thank you for taking the time to be here. Today, we will dive a little bit deeper into a very important partnership, the collaboration between Microsoft and Citrix. We will see the added benefits that come with the installation of the Citrix Workspace licenses together with the Microsoft AVD. We will talk about the positioning, the sales positioning towards the end customers, as well as dive into the more technical details of this collaboration. So to help me tell the story, I would like to also welcome my colleague Konstantinos Dermatas, who works as a service manager here at Arrow. But before we start this webinar and I let Konstantinos tell everything he knows about this collaboration, first of all, a little bit of housekeeping rules. So as maybe some of you have seen, this webinar is being recorded. We will share this recording with the people in the webinar after a couple of days with a mailing. Also, don't hesitate, as always, if you have any questions. We will go through the chat to see if there are any questions, and after Konstantinos finished with his presentation, we will have some time to answer the Q&A. Also, and maybe that's very, very fun news for some of you, definitely wait until the end of this webinar to see how 5 lucky people can win this Arrow gift box that we will send to you, ship to you. So definitely stay until the end of the webinar to see how you can participate in this. With that said, Konstantinos, are you there?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Thank you. Take it away.
I will start sharing my screen. Okay. Let's start the presentation. Great. Okay. So, yes, you can see my screen, I guess.
Yes.
So my name is Konstantinos. I work as a solution architect at Arrow 4 years now. And today we are going to have a short webinar, no more than 1 hour, just to see how Citrix and Microsoft work together to provide a better workspace experience. Okay, it's going to be pre-sales presentations, not a lot of technical information. It's more about to see some features of Citrix Cloud services in combination with Azure always. We will see what you can offer as a partner and what the end user, the customer, can benefit from this. And at the end, some technical details, some diagrams, how it works. So last year, last summer, 2020, there was an official press release from Citrix and Microsoft that they have announced their partnership, and it was basically focused on a digital workspace. Citrix, of course, it was and it is a big player in the VDI environments. Microsoft started to enter this area, especially with Azure, and they have seen a lot of benefits if they work together. We will see. Actually, we can explain how they collaborate, what are the strong benefits of its player. But now it's completely ongoing, this process, and this is maybe an opportunity for the partners that they do one of these. it's a good opportunity to do the other vendor. Right? So if you are familiar with Citrix and you don't have a lot of experience with Microsoft Azure, maybe this is an opportunity for you. And the other way around, if you are a Microsoft partner and you are looking to enter in the modern workspace experience, the old VDI, let's say, it's a good opportunity. And this, I hope this webinar to help you, to give you some more insights. So we will talk about how Citrix use Azure infrastructure, and the name of this service is Azure Virtual Desktop. This is the new one. Maybe you know it as a Windows Virtual Desktop. It's the same, just the name has changed. And we will see basically three areas. We'll talk about the hybrid cloud, when you have the Citrix Cloud services. We will see actually the big benefit of Citrix, how they optimize the operations for the modern workspace. And we will see, of course, some features about security, how fast is the delivery, generally the user experience. So I can already tell you that the big benefit of Citrix is the optimized operation. There are many years in this area. They have really done a lot of effort and a lot of features, focus how to optimize operations. We will see it later, but yes, this also maybe it was the reason from Microsoft side why they want to work with Citrix. We will see their cloud infrastructure, the Azure Virtual Desktop. Yes, it has some functionalities for modern workspace, VDI, but definitely when we are talking about operation, then there is a big gap from Microsoft side. So that's why I believe it's a really good combination, and definitely there will be a good results for the vendors, but also for the partners and the end users that they go with this solution. So we will see later the details, but this is to keep in your mind. We'll talk about hybrid cloud, how we can optimize the performance and some user experience for the delivery of the application and desktop as a service. So for the partners, maybe this is a short sales pitch about the modern workspace. The last, yes, from last year, we have this pandemic that came to us, and unfortunately, we have to change. Actually, we have to change a lot of things: the way of working, the way of living, and this was definitely something that a lot of IT providers, security vendors, everything, they have to work a lot in order to provide us, to help us to transform the IT, the workspace. We have to work from home, for example. We were not ready, or we were ready. It depends the situation, but definitely now this is like the normal. Work from home, it's here and it's going to stay with one version or another, hybrid, let's say, but it's here to stay. So there is a lot of demand also from the end users to have this modern workspace, and also cloud. Let's say it's the first choice when you're talking about hybrid environments and flexibility. So there are some numbers here. It's very important. Maybe this is more interesting for you, just to have in your head. Let's say when you design the future, what services you are going to deliver as to your end customers. Have in mind that yes, from last year there was a big increase in Azure Virtual Desktop machines created, deployed in Azure, in the cloud. and this is logical. We explain why, but I believe that it will be always every year it will be more and more. So these numbers are going to still growing. We still we definitely are in the cloud, in Azure, and this is going to be the normal way of doing some to deliver some application and some services. Okay, we Citrix, we will see why it's maybe the best solution when we combine Azure virtual desktop and the modern workspace. But definitely, we strongly believe that it's going to be a very good collaboration, and it is. So let's see some flavors of the Citrix virtual application and desktops. Okay, we will talk about simplicity when we want to deploy Azure Virtual Desktop. It's a really nice solution to work with Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Standard. Okay, for Azure, the old name was Citrix Managed Desktop. It's if you have a little of experience with Azure Virtual Desktop, okay, you will know that there are a lot of manual things that you have to do in the Azure portal in order to set up this environment. So Citrix, they can really simplify all this. You have an easy and fast way to deploy these workloads in Azure from your Citrix management console. Okay, so simplicity comes first. Then how flexible we are. So we have a lot of extra functionalities about management, monitoring, provisioning, again with AVD, Azure Virtual Desktops. And then we go to a higher license. And the last one, and maybe it's the most complete, but I think it's the best favor for most of our partners. We'll talk about the Citrix Workspace, the Premium Plus. Here we have some extra functionalities that you can combine, and all of these are based, well, can be based in Azure Virtual Desktop. It's not the only option, but this is what we will talk today. Okay, so simple, flexible, and comprehensive. It's something that you can always talk to your end customers. Of course, this is more for the salespeople. They always try to see opportunities for a cross-sell, upsell. So when you are already with some existing Citrix customer, it's really important to talk about Citrix SD-WAN, especially when you are in the cloud. When your infrastructure is in the cloud, this is a good add-on to increase your sales quota, and especially when we talk about Microsoft 365, there is a specific. Maybe it's a result of this collaboration. Citrix works very close with all Microsoft services in all the way, in networking, in infrastructure, in workspace. So there is a strong focus how they can combine and give extra value to existing Microsoft and Citrix end users. Citrix Analytics, this is a really nice functionality, focus more in security, visibility, performance, also insights. So this is something, an extra that you can also always include it, let's say, in your quotations. And important, the service provider, we know that there is a lot of market for the VDI, let's say the old VDI environments. A lot of partners, they work as a service provider. They have their own infrastructure. Now we will see how they can use cloud infrastructure, how easy it is, and definitely they can still work as a service provider. The advantages are the same and some extra. I'm not going to enter in these details, but just have in mind that there is not a big change, let's say, in the business that you do as a service provider. So let's see what is for the end users. We will see these three topics. The first one, the hybrid cloud. Let's first say that hybrid, it's a really a fashion name now. I'm going to talk about hybrid cloud. Everyone wants to try it. Almost everyone. We always have the questions, and we have to help how you are going to do this transition, because it's clear there is a big on-premise infrastructure. There was a big investment, and now the solution, yes, move everything to the cloud. It's not what they prefer. It's logical. So it's important to understand with the Citrix Cloud services what's the high-level infrastructure. You move the management of your environment for your virtual desktop infrastructure in the cloud, but your infrastructure, so where the servers and the application are running, are still can be on premise or in the cloud, in Azure. Okay, and there is always a question, okay, how easy we can deploy all this, how easy we can make these two environments work together. So it's completely transparent. Once you set up here and you connect, let's say, your environments with the Citrix management console, well, it's everything. It's very easy. All the tools for the management are here, and the important that for cloud, for Azure, you don't really need to touch a lot the cloud infrastructure. Most of the functionalities to control the infrastructure, so the Azure virtual desktops, is inside the cloud, the Citrix Cloud services. Okay, it's really very easy. We will see some examples later, some specific examples, but for the end user, it's also very important that sometimes they try, they want to go to the cloud, but they are afraid. They are afraid to do this one-off switch. Today we're in on-premises data centers. Tomorrow we will go in the cloud. It's not this the scenario. It's just to have this hybrid environment and move, migrate your services or your workloads step by step, and this completely transparent to the end user. Okay, a big benefit. So especially if the end user already have some Azure experience, then it's much more easier for you to start talking about the Citrix Cloud services. Then a big area for Citrix is the optimization. This, as we said, this was a big advantage, and one of the main reasons, personal, I believe that Microsoft is looking to work more with Citrix. If I tell you before, if you have tried to do some to deploy a virtual desktop infrastructure using pure Azure or Microsoft tools and technologies, you will see there's a lot of limitations. So I think Microsoft are very happy that Citrix can take the lead in this area, and then it can more easily promote the Azure virtual desktop infrastructure. So the important is the management. We have a unified management tool. We can have end-to-end monitoring. We can use the provisioning services from the cloud from Citrix Cloud towards Azure infrastructure. In the same console, you have all the help desk tools, monitoring. You can just see what's happening with your workloads, what's the user experience, and all the management for, the VDI. One of the main issues, yes, it has to be flexible. It has to be flexible, scale up, scale down. Also, performance-wise, it's important to monitor. So all this, they can be controlled from the same console. Yes, we talk about desktop as a service, and this means that it has to be very fast. This is when you talk about desktop as a service, the important is how fast and easy it's for an end user or for a partner to deliver these services. So using Azure, it's a big benefit. You have it in few minutes, comparing to the traditional on-premise infrastructure where you have to maybe provision some new hardware. And of course, from the end user side, it's completely transparent what's happening. They have the same user experience. They have the same, let's say, workspace. They cannot really identify any difference if the workload is on premise or in Azure. So optimize performance and auto scale. So this is a big, I think it's one of the most important things that you have to talk when you are in a meeting with an end user. How easy it's to deploy the auto scale through the Citrix management console. It's really, really simple. It's just one window. You enable the auto scale, and then you have some few settings to decide. Very straightforward. If you want to do the same directly to Azure, believe me, you have to know about Azure functions, logic apps, and start working with templates. It's quite complex. When you give this opportunity to your administrator, they will be happy. They will love you. They don't have to do a lot of things, few minutes, and that's it. And why it's important, why this is quite important. So in the traditional on-premises environment, you have provisioning some hardware, some servers, you have a specific amount of resources, a CPU, RAM, disk, that's it. You have to pay for these resources. Even if you have just two, let's say, virtual machines or 100, your cost is the same. When you go to the cloud, this completely not working like this. It's consume, you pay for what you consume. So it's quite important to have really first resources and also performance optimization. So here, this is when you talk about how to optimize the cost. This is really important because you are sure that you are using exactly the resources, the VMs that you need at the specific moment. So this is a dynamic in time. It depends how many users they want to access the application or the workload. Then it's completely automated. Create new VMs, shut down the VMs if the users are shutting down, let's say, the operating system. So it's a really big benefit. Okay, you are going to save a lot of resources, a lot of cloud consumption. So this is about the cloud consumption using the auto scale functionality. And of course, at the same time, you are sure that your performance is optimized because you are sure that you can provide the workload when the end user needs it. When the end user asks for this to access this application, you are sure that it's always the necessary resources at Azure side that can help the end user. Then again, about resource optimization, this is more about, let's say, about server optimizations that they have to host an application. So Citrix can really optimize this by doing some magic, as I like to say, and they can really yes, increase until 80% the server utilizations. Just a small remark, all the numbers that you see, these presentations are based in internal Citrix estimation, okay? But it's a nice factor to see that they can really look at the application level in the server side, and they can really optimize this workload and the availability to the end users, how to access this. So what's the benefit? The important is that you can host more users at the same infrastructure, the same server, let's say. Okay, this is, let's say, the benefit. They really work strong to this direction, because when you are in the cloud, you really want to have the best optimizations for the resource, because you pay for the RAM and the CPU. When you create a virtual machine in Azure, basically you pay for the CPU and the RAM. Okay, and this at the end, it means a lot of savings in money for the end user. End user pays for the Azure consumption. Quite important. Then we say about faster provisioning, and we maybe already know the machine creation services of Citrix. Well, they're, let's say, the same. Now it's in the Citrix Cloud. Okay, you're using this portal to control and manage your images, and the master image is hosted in Azure. Okay, and it's, let's say, close to the VMs that are going to use this image to start running. The management is pure through Citrix Cloud. The resources, let's say, are located in Azure or on-prem. So it depends. Then this you can talk about this with the support engineer or the system administrators when they have to do some troubleshooting in their infrastructure. The support, the cost of the support, it's quite high. Actually, you can measure it in the time that you consume. So in big end users that we talk, let's say for 1,000 users, when there is a need for troubleshooting, then if you can do the troubleshooting in minutes instead of hours, then you save money. Okay, so this is the benefit. The tools that you have, it's the you already know the Citrix Director, right? It's the monitoring tool. You can it's the same, let's say, but now it's in the cloud, right? The Citrix Cloud. It's completely transparent. You don't have to install anything. It's there for you, and the functionality, it's more or less the same. Now they have some extra features because you have to work in Azure environments. Extra functionality specialized for the cloud environment. Citrix session recording, still it's not a new one, but you can use it also here just to record the on-screen activity of the user. So then you can, it's much more easier for troubleshooting. Instead of asking the user to repeat, you can have the video, let's say, and you can see what's happening. And there are some nice integrations like with ServiceNow, completely yes, automated for the end user and also for the administrator, how they link ServiceNow with Citrix Cloud services. It's I think these are let's say enough. If it's for a sales pitch with your end user, talk about the optimization features that Citrix provide. It's very important. Let's see now how, yes, we can deliver. We are more at the end user side. What do they see? Of course, the big benefit of Citrix is the XDI technology that they are using to deliver. So maybe this was a big success for Citrix. This technology that they're using, they can really have a lot of benefits. Now with the collaboration with Microsoft, of course, as we say before, they really collaborate together so they can give the best user experience, especially as for Microsoft applications like Teams, Skype for Business, Microsoft 365. This is for the network, but you see that there is a strong focus how to promote more, let's say, Microsoft services through the Citrix workspace. Okay, we will see some security features. And then we will see that again there are some analytic services that they really useful for the operation. So the important thing is how to protect the application. Okay, so the Citrix, it's not let's say the traditional security vendor that they try to protect the endpoint. They are more interesting how to protect all the applications that are publishing through the workspace. Okay, so what do they have here? So from the end user side, they have security features like keylogger and script capture. This again, you can have in mind that it's XDX technology. It's part of this feature. They can really deploy this functionality at the end user. So even if your laptop is compromised, you have a virus, let's say keylogger, we can stop this to steal your, let's say, your password and username when you log into your workspace or to some applications. Okay. Some other nice feature, this more for privacy, it's the water marking. So that's basically because, you know, how we can stop, let's say, the steal of some important information. The user can make a photo, let's say, so at least you can have a watermark in the screen, so you have some protection, let's say. And the session recording, it's again part of this communication. These are not the complete list again of the features. We just focus on the most important. Just because the idea is that you'll have, let's say, maximum 1 hour to present Citrix services and Azure virtual desktop. So we just focus on the most important features. And of course, XDX technology, it's very important. From you that you're with Citrix, yes, we don't have to say a lot of things, I think. So it's clear is a protocol, a proprietary protocol from Citrix that they use many years now. Then something new that you always have to talk when we are talking about cloud and how you use the cloud services. So where is your point of presence? So where is the nearest place where we have to go to enter to the Citrix Cloud or Microsoft Cloud? It depends. So it's quite important that yes, Citrix has two big, at least two, maybe there are more now, in Europe. So quite near to us. So there's no problem for latency for the Citrix Management Console. It's completely and for the application that you want to publish through the Citrix Cloud. And then this is something that is not very known. The Workspace Hub. It's a small Raspberry appliance that you can use it for some cases that yes, you cannot use your laptop. So this is like a small device that you can connect to Citrix Workspace and you can have the same experience. So we talk yes about how important it is for Microsoft to work together with Citrix and Teams, especially the last 1 year and a half. We use Teams every day. It's quite important to have a good user experience, so they work together to optimize this application delivery through the Citrix Workspace. Important for the user experience is how fast you can log in to your application. Okay, so this is important, how fast and how easy they can work. So these are some numbers. So let's say the average session is 60 seconds. So let's say when you have an on-premise environment. When you go to the cloud, you can really optimize this even to 2 seconds. And when you are in the WEM, then it can be 15 seconds. But you see here again, you save money because you do some things faster, so the users don't have to wait. Clear, I think. Then, yes, this is just to show how it's the Citrix Workspace. It's very easy to work. You have different sessions. You can have here your apps and desktops, here your files. So actually you have everything what you will need. It's very user friendly. So simple, fast and comprehensive to save money. So in the last session, it's, let's say, the technical part, if we can call it like this, how it works, all this. Definitely you have to explain this. So this is the, let's say, the old or the on-premise data center environment. At the top, we have the management plane. So this is the Citrix management console, let's say, and at the bottom we have the data center where you host your servers, your VDI, everything that you need. Okay, so you know about Studio, Director, licensing server, controller, storefront. All these are the Citrix components that you have to install. You or the end user has to install at their data center. Manual work. Okay, it's not so big, let's say, in the cost because they're not so they don't so many resources, but SQL that it's needed. This maybe it's a big cost for the enterprise, especially if it's not a big enterprise and it's the SMB. This could be a really important cost in this scenario. So what Citrix has done, okay, they have created the Citrix Cloud and they have moved all the management plane to the Citrix Cloud, completely transparent to the partner, to the end user, to the system administrator. So they have also changed some names, but the functionality it's the same plus some add-ons. So you have here the image provisioning, it's not Studio. You have here the monitoring and help desk, it's not Director, but the functionality for this are the same more or less. And you see here some more interesting like auto scale and scalability optimizer. You can have the analytics. So all this, you have it with the click of a button. If some of these are need extra license, you have the license and that's it. You don't have to do anything. This is why a lot of administrators they like cloud environments. Everything is there for them. They don't have to worry about runtime, high availability. Everything it's there, and they can directly use and start configuring their environment. Okay, so here you can already guess that you need a kind of connector. Okay, so even if it's on-premise or cloud, you will need a connector, and the name is Cloud Connector. Very simple. Even if you have on-premise, the name is the same, Cloud Connector. So it's just a small VM that you have to deploy at your cloud infrastructure, and it's like a gateway to make the connections to the Citrix cloud services. Okay, and then the rest here, it's more or less the same. If we are talking for Azure, it's much more easier because they can really work directly with Azure Virtual Desktop. So Azure Virtual Desktop, it's like a services provided by Azure Microsoft, focus in VDI, okay, virtual desktop infrastructure, and the Citrix Cloud services, the management console. They take a lot of benefits because this is much faster and easier here if you compare it with the traditional on-premise data centers. So their automations of the cloud, a big benefit. Citrix, they have make it work very easy and very fast. So it's really nice, especially for the system administrators, that they have to deploy the infrastructure here. So this is the big image, let's say, high-level architecture. You can use this in all of your meetings just to explain, especially to people that they are new to Citrix. Probably you have to go more in details about these tools here. But if it's an existing customer, then it's easier, and just focus more about how you can use Microsoft Azure to deliver the VDI environment. We haven't entered in a lot of details, technical, let's say. It's not the purpose of the today webinar. Some more things about, yes, the management and the console. It's a really multi-tenant environment. So you can use it for the same organization or for different end users. You can use it as a service provider. There are a lot of benefits. It's yes, I understand. Maybe it's a little bit tricky in the beginning, because yes, you are familiar with everything on premise, and you have the control of everything and the responsibility of everything. When you go to the cloud, you just focus how you can use it more easy and more fast. Yes, some things about the licensing. There is a transition. There is a trade-up path in licensing. So the existing on-premise customers, yes, they can use the cloud services, and there are specific paths for this request. We are here to help you how to use to change your license from the old on-premise to the cloud services. You see here the Azure. It's sort of the standard. We are talking about standard for Azure. Okay, this is quite also just another thing that how close Citrix and Microsoft they want to work. And also don't forget that we are, even if you have the cloud license, you have the hybrids, right? So still you can use your on-premise infrastructure. Don't forget it. Even if you have the cloud, it means that the management of Citrix is in cloud. Your workload actually can be everywhere where you put one cloud connector. Then you can use any on-premise, any cloud. That's it. This is really hybrid cloud or multi-cloud environments. That was from my side. I try to keep it simple and fast and focus to the important features. Let's say that definitely you have to talk with your end customers. Any comments, any questions, anything that you want to share?
Thank you, Konstantinos. At this moment, I don't see any questions. So if someone has anything to ask, anything to say, to add, definitely put that in the chat. In the meantime, I would like to explain, like I mentioned in the beginning, how 5 of our partners can win this beautiful Arrow goodie box. So to do so, we will, my marketing colleague Michiel will send out a short survey with just a couple of questions, 2 or 3 questions, to the people who were present in this webinar. And after the deadline of the submission of the survey, we will analyze the responses, and obviously the partners with the most points, let's say, with most correct answers, will win this goodie box, which we will ship to the partners. I still don't see any questions popping up, any comments. So let's wait a couple of more seconds. Thank you, Konstantinos, for your clear and detailed explanation. Even without my technical knowledge, it was very clear to me, so that says a lot. Also, again, if you would have any questions after sleeping a night on it, if something would pop up in your head, definitely don't hesitate to contact us. And somebody is typing, maybe that is a question. Don't hesitate to contact us. You know where to find us. You can contact me directly, or you can send an email to our Citrix mailbox, which is citrix.ecs.be@arrow.com. I will wait one more second until the person starts typing. Real John. I think it's a long question. Konstantinos, you better prepare. Is it possible to combine on-prem virtual apps together with Azure Virtual Desktop?
So you mean that your application is hosted in the on-premise environment and you want to use Azure Virtual Desktop? Yes, but have in mind the latency. This is well, yes, but think about the user experience.
So technically it's possible, but it's not
it's
advised.
Possible. Yes, it's not well, it depends, of course, the environment and scenario. It depends the communications, the networks, all this. But yes.
Okay.
If you have a specific example, we can you can contact me and we can see it just in private session.
All right. Okay, thanks. That was clear. There are a couple of other people typing, so let's give them some more minutes. All right. Could we receive the recording of the presentation by mail? Thank you very much for this interesting session. Don't hesitate to organize similar sessions in the future. We'll definitely keep that in mind. There will be future sessions for sure. And yes, you will receive the recording by mail as well. This will be sent out in the same mail as the survey. Will Citrix support Office 365 and AVD in the future? Do I understand this question correctly? Windows 365 yes, and AVD. Well,
the answer, we don't know in the future what is going to happen with the Windows 365. We will see. At this moment, AVD is fully supported, as you know. With Windows 365, we will see. Maybe this is a general question between Citrix and maybe we don't have this information yet. Yes. Yes, the new cloud PC. Yes, I get it. Yeah, so that's why it's not. We don't have that answer yet. It's a good answer to Citrix people. What's the plan about the new cloud PC?
The partnership. The partnership
I don't know.
The partnership between Windows and Citrix has been on for quite a long time already. So I think it will definitely stay. But yeah, obviously this is a question that we cannot answer without knowing the full plans of Citrix and Microsoft, obviously. But we did not receive any news or updates regarding something else. So this support will definitely keep on going. Okay, thank you for your answer. You're very welcome. I think this is it. No, not yet. Is AVD solution without combining with Citrix benefits solely why two cloud providers? Is it possible to only use one of the two? Why use both of them?
Well, you can use Azure Virtual Desktop for your VDI infrastructure. That's definitely you can do it. I hope that during this short presentation it was clear what are the benefits to add the Citrix in this. It's the Azure Virtual Desktop has, let's say, basic workspace functionalities. When you talk about management of profiles for the users, when you're talking about autoscale, all this, it's possible, but it's very difficult from technical point of view, but also to the management of the infrastructure. So we have a reply from Michiel also. Yes, okay, so it's about the question from Sofian about the Windows 365.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Michiel, for that. Official statements.
Yes. Yes. Well, Sofian, probably you know this, the W365 is quite new, and we will see how it's going to be accepted also from the market. It's something new. We'll see how it's going to work.
Yeah.
But definitely, it's a good remark how it's going to enter in the picture. This cloud PC.
Sofian is typing. Somebody else has any questions? We still have a couple of minutes.
You can also unmute yourself, huh?
Yeah, maybe again, maybe it is better to use the network resource from the landing zone from Azure or use the resource from the Citrix subscription new deployment.
Okay. Well, it's better in which sense? It's faster. You mean this? I think I need more information to answer. It's I don't know. Maybe yes,
If
maybe
you
no.
want, you can unmute
Yes.
yourself.
Or if you have, because maybe you have a specific request or a case, we can check it later in a private session. Let's say it does. Yes, give us more information so we can start design.
Fian is answering, I think. Okay.
Okay.
You will be contacted.
Well, there's an answer also from participants. Citrix components of Citrix Cloud subscription and sessions host on Azure subscription. Well, yes.
All right. Thank you all for the many questions. Thank you again, Konstantinos, for the answers and obviously the presentation. You know where to contact us. Again, you can contact Konstantinos directly for the more technical question, or contact us, and then I will definitely also forward the questions to Konstantinos. A last one. I see Pierre is typing. It's the very last one, I promise. That's just to thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Konstantinos. Thank you, Michiel, for organizing this meeting. Have a nice day. Have a great lunch. And I hope to see you all next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.